Hello everyone and welcome to the first winner bracket semi-final of the Intel Extreme Masters Season 2 LA Challenge. And this is going to be an Orc versus Human matchup starting on Lost Temple with the South Korean Orc player in yellow spawning at the 6 o'clock spawn position FoCuS, and his opponent is going to be the human player from the United States spawning on the left hand side in red, Nilknarf. And Nilknarf previously has been able to beat Mew with 2-0. FoCuS has been able to beat Hanf with 2-0, so neither of the players lost a map thus far in the tournament, but that's of course going to change here. And the winner of this best of 3 is going to go straight to the winner bracket final, where he's going to meet the winner of our next best of 3, the one between Lin and Lucifer. And whoever wins that best of 3, the winner bracket final, is already going to be qualified for the finals of the main season. So both of these players here only 2 victorious best of 3s away from qualifying. But those are going to be some not too easy best of 3s. FoCuS starting with the Blade Master here, so far with a standard build. Nilknarf with an IEM, as expected of course. And the loser of this best of 3 is going to have to go through the lower bracket, where the first opponent, Caesarea, is already waiting. And therefore, the loser of this best of 3 isn't going to have the easiest task ahead of himself either. Footman heading towards the top here, where Nilknarf is most likely going to start by creeping his natural expansion. FoCuS in the meantime started towards the right hand side, where he now is able to confirm that Nilknarf hasn't spawned here, that Nilknarf's fast expansion is not close to the Orc base, which means it's very, very unlikely that FoCuS is going to do anything else but head towards the middle here and start creeping, most likely with this troll camp, because it's easier than this camp, and it basically drops, well, it provides the same sort of item drop, provides almost the same amount of XP, and is easier to creep than the Ogre camp, as I said previously. So Nilknarf starts by creeping his natural. FoCuS is soon going to confirm that Nilknarf has spawned on the left hand side. Nilknarf in the meantime not scouting at all, so he's just going to play his own early game, basically independent of where the Orc is spawning. Interestingly, FoCuS is taking the entire damage on this grunt here, so this Blade Master at almost full HP is going to be able to roam freely around the map, wherever he wants to go, whatever he wants to do. The PN now has confirmed the human spawn position. In the meantime, by the way, FoCuS has already started his tech, didn't build a shop yet, because this fountain provides all the healing that FoCuS needs in the early game, and he just continues creeping. The IEM in the meantime is, after getting the level 2 in his natural already, just heading towards the middle, doing some creeping as well, and he sees where the Blade Master is. And this is good for 2 reasons, because on the one hand, this already confirms that FoCuS isn't spawning on the top to Nilknarf, who didn't know it previously, and on the other hand, it of course provides the chance to do a last hit, which he didn't get. FoCuS is getting the creep, getting the Gloves of Haste, and now forces this IEM to run away, not going for the Ensnared Footman here. Interestingly enough, it looks like he wasn't willing to chop away on this Footman, while the rest of Nilknarf's units would have been able to deal more damage to the Blade Master. And speaking of the Blade Master, he's going to get the boots here. Grunt has healed up. Just to quickly finish that thought, given that this is the second creep camp that FoCuS has taken with this Blade Master, which has been confirmed on the one hand by the claws that he already had in his inventory, and just by the fact that he was creeping that so late, that means that this wasn't the first one, that this was the first one, so either the Blade Master came from here in the beginning or from here. So Nilknarf should know that FoCuS didn't spawn at the top spawn position. So at least that's a wee bit of information there for the human player, who's heading towards the shop right now as well, and FoCuS is going to get the 3rd creep camp here of these 4 green middle camps. Well, the 4 that drop items, and he's getting the circlet on top of things. So this Blade Master is looking quite strong already. Actually, didn't quite finish this one, so he got 3 out of 4 items, not the entire creep camps thus far. 4 grunts are out, the tech is soon to finish. IEM did get boots and a staff, but I don't really see him coming in here with the staff and dealing significant amounts of damage. In the meantime, in the meantime, 1 tower up only here Not a single tower here, and the tech hasn't been started yet either for Nilknarf, who's invested quite a bit into his footman early on, into his items early on, into his expansion obviously early on. Blade Master continues creeping here. Is he gonna be level 3? I think he should not be level 3 as he didn't finish this one. Not quite sure. Haven't really played Lost Temple a huge load recently. And a second clause of attack for this Blade Master, so he is really quite menacing already, whereas the IEM is just slowly creeping towards level 3. And yeah, the Blade Master finding him is actually not quite level 3 yet, but very, very close. Gonna get there eventually. Now waking up the creeps, doing some more damage to the human. He could actually just kill his footman to get the level 3 if he wanted to. Looks like he's really putting a lot of emphasis onto dealing damage to this IEM. Now the creeps got the footman killed. These footmen continue roaming around some. Did he get the defend upgrade? Because if he did, then he could creep, like here for example. TC second is out for FoCuS, who's adding the Warmel and the Wc3, so no walkers for him, which is the, I guess, by far the most popular approach, going for the mobility, going for the map control, and just making sure that the human doesn't get all too much done before he reaches tier 2 and gets his second hero out and gets, you know, something, whatever he wants to. Arcanes or eventually Griffin Aviary stuff on the field. So yeah, it's just gonna be able to run around, run across the map with the TC very quickly, creep him up quite a bit, you know, punish the human for doing anything except sitting in his base with the raiders and the ensnare. So that's the plan currently for FoCuS, and the plan for Nilknarf is going to be don't let the orc get too far ahead until tier 2 is reached, but that's going to be the case soon. TC is creeping up to level 2 here, shouldn't really be all too much these footmen should be able to do about it. Actually quite suicidally by Nilknarf to go there with all 3 of these footmen. I mean, Ensnare is now finished, and yeah, this one is going to fall to the Blade Master, this one is going to fall to the Ensnare, and this third one is probably going to be chased down by the Blade Master as well. And that's a lot of resources just given away for free by Nilknarf. I'm not really sure what the thought process was there, because I think he saw the TC heading up there previously with a footman, so he should have known that the army was around and that these 3 footmen would probably be doomed. Well, the TC is level 2 right now, continues creeping. In the meantime, nothing else for FoCuS. More interesting currently is what's going to happen in the bases of Nilknarf. Thus far, the answer is nothing. He's pulled some militia, but sent them back. So yeah, I really couldn't tell what the plan here was for Nilknarf. IEM even forced to town portal here just by the one raider and a Blade Master. So FoCuS is showing some good map control here early on. Needs to make sure not to lose stuff to creeps here, but so far he's been doing pretty well here as far as I can tell. XP home for the TC, who's already going to be close to level 3.5 after only being out for, I don't know, not even 3 minutes. IEM is finally going to get level 3 as well, but that took a while. He doesn't have a new town portal. I mean, he's at the shop, so he can always buy one. I mean, he's got plenty of gold, as you can see in the top, at the top of the screen. And he did just buy a new town portal, finding the one of the mint, buying 2 scrolls as well. And double expansion attempt for FoCuS. So it is double Arcane Sanctum for the human player. Triple Arcane Sanctum. Okay, so going for Mass Caster, so he's really gonna have to hit a nice timing here if he wants to make this work. The Blade Master is going straight for the IEM, and the rest of the Orc army is coming in from the right hand side, as you can see on the minimap, but the MK is coming in as well. IEM has used, what has he used here? Not quite sure. Another heal scroll? I don't think he had a potion. It must have been another heal scroll. Very, very expensive here. And he might still be forced to use another another town portal. Raiders coming in from the bottom right now, and snaring the Mountain King, who is not looking particularly strong. TC is coming in, 49 supply for FoCuS against 48 of Nilknarf, and he's getting this around on his Mountain King, and this one is definitely doomed. Nilknarf in the meantime is retreating to his expansion. He really just wants a little bit more time to get some more casters out. As we can see, he's got plenty of gold still banked. He's got a bit of stuff queued. The casters are not even trying to catch up with the rest of the army, immediately retreating into the back of the human main base. And I guess that's the right call. FoCuS's 2 expansions are getting closer and closer to finishing, though. Nilknarf hasn't scouted either of those, but I guess it's not all too big a surprise that at least one expansion must be produced over there. Bunch of peons being sent over there. Spirit Lodge has been added in the meantime as well. And FoCuS, as far as I can tell, has done a very good job during the time where he had the total map control. He forced the town portal. The IEM is like level 3.5. The Mountain King has about 0 XP. And his heroes are both about to reach level 4 already. One of the wind on the TC as well. Blade Master found, not quite sure what he found. Wow. Boots of Kel'Thalas and a Claws of Attack +6. So he's got so many good Blade Master items here. Even without those additional claws, the Blade Master is at +25. And now he's putting the militia. Really anticipating the expansion here? I'm not quite sure. Sending the militia towards the main, so it looks like he just wants to go for a big push here. The raider sees those. The orc army is coming in from the top. Only one raider currently, one walker, excuse me, currently with the army. That could maybe be a bit of a disadvantage. Then again, well, okay, there are 4 storks, so that's going to be some tough slow to deal with. But as I just said, the heroes of the orc are quite a pain to deal with, and the Mountain King is getting a beating here immediately, and he's got the 3 ivory towers. One of them is being placed to back the Mountain King to the back of the army, but it's not enough. Shockwave kills him nevertheless, and the TC is pulling the town portal afterwards. Some very, very valuable time has been bought, as well as you know, the fact that FoCuS got rid of the ivory towers seems to be quite a big deal here. In the meantime, both of FoCuS's expansions are running, so he's gonna have production running at full capacity here, getting another walker, getting another Kodo, getting nothing out of the barracks, getting some more items. 65 supply for him, the Blade Master in the meantime +29. He's used the Invo Potion though, against 75 supply of Nilknarf. So still, supply-wise, this is, well, this is looking, I would say, not too bad for FoCuS, because a lot of Nilknarf supply is in those peasants, which aren't really doing all too much. The IEM in the meantime is getting in some trouble, and if he can just force the town portal here, that should be very good news for FoCuS, and he's able to do so. Both the Kodos have eaten a breaker here, so that's 6 additional supply that are probably not going to be coming back into play for the human player. Another walker has fallen here. Just to quickly finish that thought process, Nilknarf was up by about 10 supply, but if you were looking at the armies, that didn't really show all too much, and I'm assuming a lot of that was, you know, in those lumber peasants, which, yeah, he's got like 5 here plus another like 8 within the army. So those 10 supply advantage were really a necessity for the human player. It looks like FoCuS does not dare creeping here. The Blade Master is around the human army. New town portal has been bought for him. Blade Master did buy a new Invo Potion. And it looks like he's gonna go for some AM hunting, who is quite out of position, but the Blade Master is not getting to the AM here, using the Invo Potion quite early on. Once again, AM is able to pull back and get into a bit of a safer position. 1 ivory tower has been placed here thus far. The MK has 4 more, but it looks like this isn't the position where he wants to put them down eventually. Putting down another one. The Mountain King is also safe for the time being, but this Blade Master has really done a good job here. Another Shockwave is coming in. The town portal has been used. The bolt is not hitting the ground here anymore, and there we have 2 towers which aren't really going to provide excuse me, provide all too much for the human player. Does he decide to push forward? Nevertheless, he doesn't have any safety items anymore in his heroes, except for 1 heal potion and a town portal. And it looks like Nilknarf is deciding to fall back. As I said, the Blade Master has done quite a tremendous job in this fight. FoCuS is still up at 74 supply. The 2 breakers are about to be fully devoured, which is going to put Nilknarf down to 62 supply. And on top of things, he's the one in the economic disadvantage here. So what can he really do is the question. He's falling back to the heal fountain for the moment. It looks like he's going to do some more creeping. I mean, for all he knows, there's probably 1 counter expansion by FoCuS. guess the second one he still hasn't confirmed, but I guess if he falls back further and further in terms of army size, and then it's not really gonna matter if he previously confirmed this second expansion. So yeah, as I said, he's continuing to creep some. This Mountain King level 1 doesn't really offer all too much in these big late game fights. He finds the crystal balls, so alright, I guess we're gonna see him revealing over there eventually. Actually, he has revealed both of these expansions already. So one of the 3 Arcane Sanctums has fallen, and it looks like FoCuS is now the one who's going for the kill. The human army is town-potting. This orc army is looking very, very scary. 1-1 upgrades, by the way, as well. TC moving forward. Another tower has been placed here by the Mountain King. Another one. He's just trying to get into safety, let alone doing anything, you know, productive with this Mountain King. All he wants to do is survive for the time being, but FoCuS is pushing forward. There are like 5-6 breakers still standing on the side of the human player. FoCuS is charging forward onto this Mountain King once again. Does he have anything else to save him? Another shockwave is being cast, and there is the kill on this Mountain King. Not even the critical strike is necessary. This Blade Master is just dealing too much damage. 180 critical strike. The AM has to run, and he's getting into the back of his own base, but in the meantime the entire army is being chopped apart. The AM is getting taken down by the Blade Master as well with a 195 critical strike there in the end, and FoCuS ends this game with yeah, a very, very convincing counter push. Nilknarf tried to strike, I believe, at where he expected the counter expansion to be before he you know, before he scouted where it actually ended up being. And yeah, FoCuS got a few really, really good trades in those fights in the middle, and I think a key aspect here was that given the fact that FoCuS added the Spirit Lodge rather late, he never really had the sustainability enough, you know, to go for a fight that lasted longer than like 30 seconds or so. And he very wisely always brought a new town portal to those fights. He you know, casted his shockwave, used his skills, dealt some damage, traded nicely, and then TP'd out. And he did it twice, I think, and afterwards he always seemed to be in a position to hold an immediate follow-up push by Nilknarf, who never went for it, I guess rightfully, because, as I said, that wouldn't have been very likely to succeed. And eventually, with those 2 expansions, FoCuS just outproduced his opponent. On top of things, he was, of course, out-leveling him in the mid-game, which is the standard if the human is going for a fast expansion. And eventually, just all the trumps were in FoCuS's hands, and I think he just yeah, played his hand pretty much perfectly here. So this puts him up 1-0, and Nilknarf is gonna get his second chance on Echo Isles.